What is going on, everyone? So today I'm going to be showing you a new deck profile. It's called Terra. My friend Joel Negron, aka Pumba, he is one of our teammates here at Team Mumu Milk, and he's been working with this list for a long time. So one of the things he wanted you guys to know is that unlike a lot of us in the group, he's been playing Pokemon for a long time, but also one of the things that he has struggled with is actually building something original or something new, because he always felt like other people just have better ideas. So every time he tried building something new, either it was already out there or it was simply just not competitive enough. So one of the things that he has been doing for the last couple of years is he's been testing many builds of people at CBW that has built their own decks, and he has just been testing other people's decks in tournaments or in friendlies. And after a while, he learned the proper way of actually building what he built today. So he basically got ideas from a bunch of decks and was able to build one that he could call his own. So what's cool about this deck is that you're not going to see anything here that is just new or just unique. You're probably going to see a bunch of Pokemon that you already seen in other decks and how good they work together. So what I really like about this list is the fact that he took the time to play a bunch of decks, so he got a lot of experience playing different engines. And then after 1.5 years, 2 years of practicing and just testing, he was actually ready to build something that he could call his own, or just at least something that in combination was a little bit different from the rest. So I really hope you guys enjoy the video. It's a great deck. I've been able to watch it in action. I've been personally, I've seen my friend grow in competitive play, and he told me the deck is finally ready. There's always 3 or 4 cards that serve as bench warmers, so he's constantly switching back and forth. But that's normal in GLC. But he should be testing this deck more and more now that it's complete, and it has had some really good results and against other people in the community. So I'm just gonna go and show you the deck. I hope you really enjoy it. Test it out. Let us know in the comments what you like, what you didn't like, if you have something similar, I'm sure he'll be happy to comment below on his deck profile and ask or answer any questions that you guys might have. Okay, so his favorite Pokemon is Groudon. Groudon is his favorite Pokemon of all time. He's been playing Groudon since the card was announced in Ruby and Sapphire. So it's his favorite Pokemon of all time for sure. And we finally got a good Groudon that it was good enough with some of the engines that we had that we could make a deck out of it. There's already a bunch of Groudon decks out there, and there's different engines that you could play with. But he really enjoyed the Coalossal Groudon deck or engine, and that's what we have for you guys today. So let's start. We have obviously the Groudon, so very cool attack, Magma Purge. You can discard up to 4 energies from your Pokemon, so it doesn't have to be exclusively to Groudon. And then this attack does 60 damage for each card you discarded in this way. So if you're new to the deck or you're new to the engine, this card plays well with the last Pokemon that I'm going to show here, which is going to be Coalossal. And every turn you can attach a fighting or a fire energy from your discard pile into your Pokemon. So basically, in theory, you could be attaching up to 4 energies a turn if you have things like Raihan, for example. So very powerful card, and the deck is not a it's not a glass cannon. It's not a fast deck. It doesn't set up really quick. It takes its time, and then mid to late game the deck becomes unbeatable basically. So very strong. It's just an amazing deck, and this card is definitely it's definitely the soul of the deck. Although it's not the engine, you could see that how it was. Many cards were built around it. So we have Sudowoodo. So Sudowoodo has an ability that it's basically like copycat. So it's called Watch and Learn, and there's a bunch of cards in the format that are a threat to many cards, including Wailord and Pumba's best friend, and also like our teammate. He's also in our team, in Team Woolmilk. He plays Special Waves. It's a video that we're gonna be recording soon, and so they play all the time. Like most, if you compare like people in our team that play against one another, because they're neighbors, they live very close by. They're constantly testing each other's decks, and he sees the matchup a lot. So there's multiple people in our community that play water, so you're constantly seeing Wailord. So Sudowoodo is a card that allows you to just KO Wailord. So it's called the Wailord Killer, and it's just an amazing card to have. The fact that you can just bring it and charge it immediately with Coalossal, it's also a great card to have. So it's always in the bag saying, if there is a threat, I can immediately KO it, which is super good. We have a boss monster, another boss monster, which is Okidogi. Just an incredible card. If you don't know what it does, please read it, go see like other decks and their explanation. It's just a really strong card that came up this year. And what's cool about it in this deck is that the deck doesn't revolve around it like other decks, but it serves more as a decoy in an aggressive way as well as a defensive way. So you either hit the Okidogi because you're scared of how strong it could be, but then if you don't hit the Okidogi, then you get the Okidogi. Now, why wouldn't you hit Okidogi? It's probably because I've played against this deck multiple times now, and sometimes, many other times, hitting and KOing the Coalossal is just so strong, because once the Coalossal hits the field, it almost seems impossible to beat the deck. But it's just a great decoy to have, and another boss monsters to have, just in case you can't get that Coalossal or it gets sniped multiple times. You get Carbink as well in this deck. Carbink is very underrated. It's just a card that just sits there, and it's also a decoy in a way where you sometimes want to like fall behind in prices, because then you can activate many like cards that are very strong. But it also gives you exactly two cards. Like if you get a Carbink off, by your next turn you have a Coalossal, right? Because you get Rare Candy, and then you can get Evolution Incense, and that's it. You immediately have Coalossal, which is just ridiculously strong. So very underrated card. Sometimes I've seen Pumba play Focus Sash. I don't believe he's currently playing it, but it's definitely one of those bench warmer cards that he has. And just having a Focus Sash and Carbink, and just making your opponent waste blower, or just having to waste a turn to KO it. It just gets you 4 cards, which is just too strong. And yeah, it's only item cards, but trust me, that's all they need. So very strong card. He plays great Tusk because we are also playing Riolu and Lucario. So I'm putting these two together because they have really good synergy with one another. Not only does Lucario play really well with Coalossal because it brings the energies to him, and then you can discard the energies for then the Coalossal to be able to play Coalossal, but something that might be seen as a negative thing of Lucario is that whenever he attaches energies, he gets hit himself. You put 2 damage on him to activate the effect, the ability. But then that helps Great Tusk because his attack, Wrathful Charge, says if your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 80 more damage, so you're hitting for 160. And the fact that this is a basic means that as long as Coalossal's in the field, you can, if you can revive him, you're gonna hit for 160, which is just insane, right? And if you're playing against Colorless, or you're playing against Darkness, that gets multiplied by 2. So very, very strong, just incredible. We also are playing Hisuian Arcanine. A lot of people already know what this card does. Scorching Horns. If this Pokemon has any fire energies attached to it, it does 80 more damage. So you do 160 plus the burn, which is really good numbers. And we are playing this Growlithe. The reason why we don't play the other one is because we're not playing, we're currently not playing Body Puffins. Body Puffins only gets us 3 Pokemon, and yes, those 3 Pokemon are very important. But according to Pumba, in testing, he just prefer other things. We also have a big number of darkness players in our locals, so you know, being able to like survive turn 2 Meowth is just great because they have to get that tool or that stage in order to get to 80. Otherwise, it survives for 10. So it's also like a local meta thing. So very important, right? Because I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna ask me about why isn't he playing the 70 HP Growlithe. And then we have probably the most important card of the deck, the Coalossal. Just a great card. And again, remember, he can attach not only a fighting energy, but he can it can also attach a fighting energy. So fighting and fire energies, and he can attach twice a turn, which is just very strong. As for supporters, we have obviously the best supporter that we have for fighting, Karina. We got Birdkeeper, Arven, Gladion. Important because you don't want to like price any of your important pieces. Ball Guy, Chorus Tenacity, Raihan, Professor's Research. We also have Cynthia, Teammates, Marnie, Guzma, and Tatum Liza. Okay, so very important. If you're new to the fighting gym, a lot of times you run out of cards in your hand or your opponent disrupts your hand, and you know, not having a hand in fighting can be very scary. With this build, once you are set up, which it could take longer, could take a little longer, but with card bank, I've seen like Coalossal plays already like by turn 2, which is just stupid. And once that happens, you can just play with what you have in the field, but you also don't want to, obviously you don't want to like run out of cards in your hand. So you want to play enough supporters where you're comfortable drawing, because that way you don't get to a point where you get stuck because they like boss something for a couple of turns, or you know, you can't attack, or you're just drawing nothing. So very, very important to have that many supporters, and each one of them has a simple task over the match, so very important. And again, there's some really good other supporters out there that you could play. These are just Pumba's favorites and what he enjoyed after testing a bunch of times. But again, like I said, there's always like 2 or 3 cards that they get switched from week to week, but it's still the same deck. So let's talk about the items. What do we got here? So let's start with some of the Pokeballs. So we got the Ultra Ball, we got the Nest Ball, we got the Hisuian Heavy Ball. We also have, let's see here, hold on. We have Quick Ball, we have Heavy Ball, and we got Team Magma's Great Ball. So very good. This is a good number of Pokeballs to have. There's no reason to play Level Ball. He didn't like Level Ball at all. He rather had just Heavy Ball or Team Magma Great Ball, because sometimes, you know, there's a need to like get energy, so it's just good to have. As for some of the tools that we have Fighting Fury Belt, we got Luxurious Cape, and we got Floatstone. So a lot of times I've seen Pumba change Fighting Fury Belt for Let me move this right over here. So I seen Pumba change Fighting Fury Belt for Focus Sash because sometimes you just want to attach either Cape or Focus Sash to things like Carbink or things like the Coalossal or like this guy like Carkol or Roly-Coly, because you don't want them to get sniped and get KO'd because you have everything that turn because you play Carbink. So you just want it to survive so you can actually like at least attach a couple of cards and like get your games going. So I've seen him you know, switch this card every once in a while, so just keep that in mind. We have Versus Seeker, Pokegear, and Blower. We also have other supporter cards like Rare Candy, Enhanced Hammer, and Battle Compressor. We got some recovery cards like Rescue Stretcher, Ordinary Rod, and Night Stretcher. And then we got some search cards, search items like Evolution Incense, Professor's Letter, Trainer's Mail. And then we have one of, I believe, probably like a staple on in every single deck, we have one Escape Rope. As for the stadiums, let me make sure that I'm not, yeah, that's it for the items. As for the stadiums, we got Brooklet Hill, we have Parallel City, very strong card, and then we got Training Court. So there's been many games, but I've seen many of the versions that Pumba had before this list, and in a lot of the games, you know, between Lucario and other Pokemon, you get to your basics so quickly that if Coalossal fails, then you run out of energies. So Training Court is just a great card to have. That way you don't ever like lose, and you know, you don't have to lose to not having energies in your deck. So very, very good card in a lot of fighting decks, really. I have two fighting decks myself, and I believe I play Training Court in both of them. Very, very good in fighting, specifically in fighting. It's where I've seen this card shine the most. And then all we have left is the energies. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 basic fighting energies. And then we have a single fire energy. So a lot of people in their Coalossal builds that they play, this is the only thing that I actually talked to Pumba before making the deck profile. And in testing, there were many times where the second fire energy he always wanted it to be a fighting energy. So there were very, very, very few matches where he saw the need for a second one. So again, I'm just re-saying what he said. So as of right now, he is on 1 fire energy. But again, he has a second one as a bench warmer. So who knows? Like keep up to date to his list. I'm gonna be posting his deck list below on the subscription. So if you're watching this video like 10 years from now, you can click on the link and see like how the list has been updated or evolved. That way we don't have to like make a video every month or every 2 months or whatever, every set. So keep that in mind, and it's totally understandable. I think he has done well with just playing 1. And then we play Rainbow Energy, we play Strong Energy, Unit Energy, and then an Aurora Energy. So very, very good. The deck is very fun, very competitive. The one thing he said, I don't know if I forgot if I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but he wanted everyone to know that if you're playing this list to, you know, keep calm, play your games until the end, unless you 100% think you're gonna lose. But other than that, play it, because he said there's been many games where he thought that he was for sure gonna lose, and the deck just has a great mid to late game that he has been able to like win many of the games after being falling behind, you know, a lot. So definitely play it, give it a chance. It takes a little time to get to know, to prioritize certain Pokemons over others, but overall it's an incredible deck, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. So I'll see you guys later.